All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to our June team call. We're so excited to have you. We know it's a little late for some of you, but we're super glad that you were able to make it. And if you are watching the recording, awesome. I'm so glad that you showed up and watched this because it's going to be an awesome call. We have Amber-Rae here to talk to you about how to structure a post and how to really engage with people on social media. She is absolutely amazing at it. She's been coach for 8 months, Amber?
Yeah, 8 months, yeah.
Yeah, so she's hit Success Club every month, and she went Emerald in 2 months and Diamond in 4. So she is a force to be reckoned with, and she has a lot of amazing tips for you guys today. So I will hand it over to you, Amber.
Thanks. Hi, ladies. I just wanted to say thank you very much, and thank you to Kelsey for having me on this call with you guys tonight. It's truly an honor. I haven't really been asked to do much of a call like this before, so it's kind of my first one, so I'm super excited. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Amber, or who I haven't met. Like Kelsey was saying, I've only been coaching for a short 8 months now. But one thing I really dove into right away was figuring out like how to post, what to post, and sort of when to post. Because I feel like when you dive into Beachbody, that's sort of a big thing that gets thrown at you, is really starting to engage yourself with social media. So if you aren't someone who, like myself, who rarely was on social media, now having to implement at least 3 to 5 posts a day, I really wanted to make sure I was doing it right, and making sure my posts had a purpose as to what I guess I now wanted to portray, and basically what I'm going to be doing now. So tonight I'm going to just share with you a few tips that have really helped me in structuring and organizing, my posts really, and how I got started. So tip number 1, and I do this with all my new coaches now, is really getting comfortable with posting. So I just feel like a lot of people they kind of get a little bit set back with it, and they just don't really know where to start, and they see all these other coaches and they're following them and all their posts, and they don't want to be copycats. They don't want to be the same as them. They want to really implement themselves, but they just don't know where to start. So basically I tell them to sort of do like an introductory post for themselves. If you're like me, when you started Beachbody and you're rarely on Facebook, and you kind of just posted here and there on Instagram and on your wall, and to now you're with Beachbody and coaching, and a big part of it is growing your network, you need to start engaging more on social media. So I find people get uncomfortable with this if they haven't already been overly active on Facebook or Instagram. I think it's important for them, so yourselves and your new coaches starting out, to make an introductory post for everyone to see. So once I started with Beachbody, I just didn't want to come out of nowhere and all of a sudden just start posting about me and my life and Beachbody, Shakeology, etc., all this stuff, because you get excited, you get overwhelmed, and you just kind of want to blurb it out there, but you sort of have to reel it back and just kind of let people know what you're doing. And just make sure people aren't getting turned off by me and maybe assume I'm just in it for the sales aspect of it all. I really wanted to come across genuine. So basically, I just tell my new coaches to do an introductory post as to what it was you're now doing. So this will sort of kind of break the ice for you, so people aren't really confused as to why all of a sudden you've never been on Facebook and now you're just flooding Facebook and Instagram with all your stuff. Letting people know that, like, hey, you're going to be seeing a lot on, and it just has to be a brief description of what your posts are going to be about. So example, like your fitness, your health, you're going to start sharing recipes. You want to spread a little bit more positivity, your workouts, your new journey, basically just inviting them to follow along with you. So tip number 2 for you is figuring out, what to post. So for me, finding some topics that I can relate to and that I feel comfortable posting without sounding too fake. So for me, I sat down and I picked 5 topics that I could really relate to. So when I'm doing my 3 to 5 posts, I know that I have balance throughout my day as well. So balance between Beachbody and like regular day posts. So I think of it as like a reel. So I pick my 5 topics and basically I just like rotate through them throughout the day. So for example, this could be like personal interests, personal development, a quote in the day, health tips, recipes, and then throwing in your Beachbody throughout the day. So for example, like in the morning, I'll do a quote in the morning. I hang out with my kid throughout the day. So usually I'm throwing in like me and my son, and then I'll do maybe like a lunch recipe. I'll do my workout. And then later on in the day, I might, if I'm inviting, whatever I'm inviting to, so like my challenge group or my coach, I'll kind of leave that to the end of the day, that sort of thing. And then when you're posting, using filters and emojis that are signature to you. So I know I feel like a lot of us get really excited about all the fabulous filters that we can go through and all these hundreds of emojis that we get to pick through. But try to find something that's signature to you. So for example, if you're posting with a picture and you want to do filters, choose just from 2 filters. Not every single post you have to do, you know, every single filter that's on your phone. Don't go filter crazy. You want to stick with kind of the same one. So when people are scrolling through their feed, before they even read it, they kind of know who it is. You basically just kind of buy that. And they'll kind of know, be like, oh, hey, this is so-and-so. I recognize their filter, and they might be more inclined to kind of stop and read kind of what you're posting about. Posting for immediate engagement. Start your post with something bold. So if this is something that you like, I'll do this mostly for like my challenge group posts or my inviting to coaching or something that's kind of, you know, I'm excited about. I'll do like a bold statement. So like something like stop scrolling or important, big announcement, and like flood it with like those star asterisks, something that's really going to catch their eye right away. And then they'll kind of be more inclined to stop and read your post. So something I've been doing for my Beachbody, strictly my Beachbody posts only. So when I'm posting for my challenge group or my coaching or my sharing my journey, I found an emoji that I just put right at the top, right before I even start my sentence. I'll just stick one of my emojis and I'll use the same one all the time. So now people are recognizing that emoji, that one's going to be tagged to just my Beachbody posts. So they'll keep seeing it pop up on their feed. So it's a concept, oh, these are the challenge group invites. Oh, these ones are like the coach invites, that sort of thing. Okay, so tip number 3, organizing your posts. I feel like people can get a little overwhelmed with posting. I know I've already kind of said that before, but it is very overwhelming. They either don't know what to post or when to post, or overall just don't think they have enough time to post throughout the day. So kind of whenever they do have time, they might just flood a bunch of stuff on Facebook and it's not really balanced throughout the day. So one key thing, like anything, is keeping yourself organized, like we do with Beachbody, and tracking everything. So try and pre-plan your posts for like the day or the week. So I'll use a blank calendar and I'll actually write out everything. So I'll have about 5 posts every single day. So I have a guideline of what I'm going to be posting. A great app to use is Hootsuite. So that will actually organize all your posts and for all your social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, whatever you like to use, you can just upload or connect all your stuff on there and then manage it actually in that one app, which is awesome. If you have a like page, like a separate Facebook page, you can actually pre-post and then schedule your post. So if you know, like for me, for instance, I work at night. So, and a lot of challenge group invites or my coaching invites I want to be posted later, but I don't have time because I'm working. I'll actually just do it before I go to work and then just tag it or to time it at a certain time. And then I know it's just getting posted and I don't have to worry about it. Helpful as well. And for when you're scheduling your posts, try and leave your best posts for when you know the most people are on Facebook. So for example, like my prime time, I find, is around 9 o'clock. So the way you can kind of tell, or how I gauge it, is how many people are kind of checked into the little chat column there. You can see, or whoever has like little green dots beside their name, they're kind of the ones that are like the active nows. So they'll be the ones that will be able to see your post. So I save like my personal journey posts. I'll save if I want to do like a shout out to a challenger from our challenge group, transformation posts for that sort of time slot when I know I'm going to get the most people engaged. So tip number 4, structuring your post to your personal invite. So I think this is really important because I find people, you might sit down and do your invites. But then if you're not posting and it's not coinciding, I feel like your invites can just sort of get swept under the rug and just they're not really kind of knowing what you're talking about. So the first thing I do in the month is organize. So the first half of my month is basically posting about challenge groups. So I'll post a lot about my nutrition, my workouts, inviting to challenge groups. My second half, I kind of switched to coaching. So what is coaching, how coaching has affected me, how to implement coaching into your life. So now when I'm personally inviting, I want all those to kind of coincide. So my first half of my invites of the month, I'm strictly just inviting to challenge groups. And then I know my invites are, or my challenge group posts are now coinciding with those invites. So people aren't getting confused. They know exactly what you are inviting them to join you with. Because if you're just sort of willy-nilly, oh, today I'm going to do something about coaching, today I'm going to do something about challenge groups, but then you just invited a bunch of people to see like a coach invite or something, they might kind of get confused as to what exactly you're inviting them to. And if coaching isn't for them, they're going to get turned off by that and they might not even respond or anything like that. So you just want to really make sure invites in your posts and they're coinciding with each other. So it makes sense for them as well. Okay, so tip number 5. So expanding your feed, growing your network, and making connections. So I think this is just as important as doing any type of posting throughout the day. So I'm sure you guys have heard, well, I know I found this out through someone else, but I don't know if everyone knows this, but only about 7% of your friends on Facebook actually see your posts, which is crazy to think that you have, like, you know, if you have 500 or 800 or whatever friends on Facebook, portion of that people are actually seeing your feeds. So if you're taking the time to really make these good posts and you're taking the time to organize it and you're taking the time to engage or invite, you want to make sure now that your posts are actually being seen. You don't want to, I think people don't really realize that they could be wasting their time. So now if you're trying to invite more people to your groups, but you haven't been taking time to engage with them, I think they're probably most likely to kind of say no or not respond. So time, to kind of go in and think about who you haven't seen on your news feed. So if you go into your friends list and scroll to the bottom, those are the people that are kind of the ones that aren't probably seeing what you're posting very often because you're not engaging as much with them. So those are the ones you want to go back in and engage with. So now once you've kind of invited your warm market, now these people are kind of in your cold market. Now you're going to go invite them, but they're like, hey, I honestly don't have any idea what you're even inviting me to. So you really want to take those time to do that, because those are the people that you're looking for to be potential challengers and coaches at the end of the day. You want to take the time to get to know them, comment on their wall, like their pictures, because in turn, they will start doing the same. Like you'll start noticing those people that like all their stuff. They'll start reciprocating it onto your wall as well. And then when you decide to reach out to them, possibly invite them, they're more inclined, to say yes, because they'll be more involved in what you're posting about. So tip number 5, a big one is just being consistent. So overall, throughout everything, yeah, just staying consistent day. I know it gets repetitive. I know it feels like you might not be reaching out to these people or they might not be responding, but those people are watching. You know, I get all the time people that are like, hey, I see all your stuff all the time, but I just don't want to like it all the time because I feel like a stalker. Or, you know, some people just don't engage on Facebook, but they do see you at the end of the day. So you don't want to like flood your Facebook one day or for a couple of days and then kind of fall off the map, and people don't see you for a while. You wanna stick with it no matter what. Or if you're deciding to be more unplugged, that's fine. You know, that's okay. We all have lives. We all have things to do outside of Beachbody and Facebook, families and whatnot. But let people in on that. You know, they want to know you. They want to see that you're real people as well. And not just the glitz and the glam of it. You know, sharing your struggles, whatever that may be, share your happy times, whatever that is. Just be you essentially, and people will naturally grow. You know, but people do want to see the consistency. They want to trust you, and want to ultimately, and when they join you, you know, they just kind of want to be able to trust you in what it is you're doing. So yeah, so I think that's kind of what I have right now that I can share with you guys. That went a little bit quicker than I think I thought, but I guess I'll kind of open it up if anyone has any questions, or Kelsey kind of wants to add in a little anything as well.
Okay, that was awesome. I think it's so important to go back and just like go over the basics again and make sure that, you know, you're thinking through like, how am I going to connect with people? How am I going to get their attention? And it's kind of funny because you brought up like the whole asterisk thing, and I used to do that all the time. And I was like, as you were saying that, I'm like scrolling through my Facebook, and like literally I could not like I kept scrolling till like 2 weeks ago, and I never found a post with me doing it anymore. I'm like, why did I quit doing that? So that's really good to remember. And I actually started in a book, writing down like anything that I see coaches do, or like tips that I hear in calls, and I have like a list of like tips for doing challenge group posts and tips for doing coaching posts. So I'm going to add that one on there because I stopped doing that. I don't know why, because whenever I see someone else do it, I totally do stop and I do read it. So that's a good strategy. So I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? Or like when someone's like, stop your scroll, I'm like, why? Like, I need to read what you had to say. So yeah, I love that. And I think it's really important. Tamara was saying that she needs to start scheduling her posts more. And I think that's a good thing that you brought up, because sometimes when we don't post with like a kind of a schedule in mind or a purpose in mind, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. And I know for myself, when I don't go into the month like having a really clear cut plan and goal of, you know, getting so many challengers by a certain day or so many coaches by a certain day, it can get overwhelming because I kind of do everything at once then, and it puts so much pressure on myself. And those are usually the months that I kind of flounder. So I love that you brought that up, because I think that's so important for coaches, you know, to revisit, even if they've been doing it for 2 years like myself, or, you know, if you're in the first week of coaching, it's just so important to be doing that. So I absolutely love that. I just posted into the chat to see if anyone has any questions. Let's see. Tamara says that emojis always catch her eye too. So I love that. For questions, I'm trying to think if I have any questions. You kind of like clearly laid that out. That was awesome. And I love that it's like kind of step by step, because it's really easy to, we always tell coaches like, go look at other coaches' posts and, you know, see what you really like, what grabs your attention, and then kind of like take that information and replicate it and be yourself. And sometimes it's so overwhelming, like you just want to do everything at once. But if you kind of break it down into steps and you focus like on one step at a time, then it's quite easy when you simplify it for yourself. So I love that. Let's see. I don't see any questions. Let's see.
Another thing too, I don't know, like what I just started doing as well is really using my my like page on Facebook. So starting like your own what would you call it? Is that like a public page or like a, I guess
Yeah,
a private
like page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'll actually start posting a lot of my like important posts on there as well. Again, because I like that you can actually like manage the time, like when it's going to be posted. But then also, if you, I don't know if you've probably noticed, I'm sure you have, and other coaches, I'm sure that other coaches pop up and they've got like a sponsored post. So, and then you'll just constantly see like that one post flickering in your news feed, like every couple of days or whatever. And that's coming from their like page. So they actually like their post. So you do have to pay for it, unfortunately, but it's only, I think your first boost is like $5 and then the next one's like $7 or something, but you're engaging with like estimated anywhere between like 500 to like 1,300 people. So that's something that I've kind of been playing around with as well, because it'll pop up on Facebook newsfeed, but then I'm also getting engaged in people, and I can actually set the settings as to like who I'm engaging with. So anyone in Canada and the States, only women from like a certain age group. So who do I want to track? Who is like my mark that I really want to like kind of like suck in? Or actually finding that I'm getting lots more. I'm able to kind of like open up my cold market a little bit more and make it more of a warm market, because I'm now bringing in like more people through my sponsored page or my like page or whatever.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. Okay, so I haven't announced this in the group yet, but I'm totally going to tell you guys. So on Monday, there's going to be this new group for anyone in our downline. And it's going to be called Here Comes the Boom. And it's kind of, it's not a training group or anything, but it's to help lead up and help you to structure your posts going up to Summit, to really like kind of build the excitement for Summit, whether you're going or you're not going, and to really build up momentum. So when Summit happens, you guys and everybody can feed off of the Summit boom. So I was working on it, and I was wanting to prep like some of my main posts for it, so that way you guys would see examples of what you could do. And I actually went ahead and scheduled them right into my like page. So now next week, so I'll be at my cabin next week, so I won't have as much time. So when it posts onto my like page at the strategic times that I planned, I can just go and like copy and paste onto my personal one as well, so it can be on both. So I know for myself, when I was working full time, what I used to do is I actually used to look at my month, plan out my like major posts for the day. So like when I was doing invites for like challengers and for coaches and stuff, I used to like for the entire month make all of my main posts, like my story, my transformations, like throwbacks, highlighting coaches, highlighting challengers on their success. I used to like kind of pre-plan those as much as I could and schedule them all in for the whole month. And like I would take like a Sunday and like a couple hours and just do the whole month. So that way, all I really had to post about day to day was my fitness, maybe what I ate or something that like genuinely happened that day. So that's what I did, and it made it so it was super, super easy. Like I just took one Sunday, did it all, and then that pressure was off me for that whole month to remember to share my story and stuff like that. So that's how I really did it, and that's what I'm doing now with this Here Comes the Boom group. So that way I can really build the momentum. So this first week is going to be about country heat and building up like the environments like around challenge groups. So I'm really focusing on that and getting those schedules in. So that's going to, that's something, if you struggle with structure, that's something you might want to look at, especially if, you're busy and you need to make sure that you're hitting those times and you find yourself missing out on, hitting those times when your market's watching. So that's what I did, and it really helped. And I'm kind of going back to that. And Amber, just like you were saying, with like pages, you can sponsor ads. So I do it all the time. I generally spend anywhere from $10 to $40 in a month. And I just like plug in. So like for the first 2 weeks, I like to sponsor like things for challenge groups. In the last 2 weeks, I do stuff for coaching. And I've been really consistent with my market, so my target market. So that way over time, those people will see me and eventually want to work with me, because one of Morgan's coaches actually said that she had seen Morgan's post about her challenge group for like months, like consistently saw the same video for months and months and months. And then she started seeing Morgan's ads for coaching, and she said that she finally decided to click on it, and she didn't even know it was for coaching. She just knew it was like Morgan was always popping up in her Facebook. She just decided to click on it one day, and now she is like, I think she's like close to being a diamond coach. So you need to be consistent with your market and make sure that you're, you know, really engaging, interacting with those people, and sponsor ads are a great way of doing that. So I love that you brought that up, because that can really help your structure of your posts and structure of your audience. So that was a really awesome tip. Can you touch up on posting your results onto your personal page? What do you mean by that? Let's see here. So I don't know about you, Amber, but when I post them to my like page, I don't know if you take those and then post them onto your Facebook later. I'm not sure if that's what Tamara's asking or not, but Tamara, what I do sometimes is I like touch them up a little bit sometimes to make them more like current to what's going on right then, because sometimes I do post them or schedule them in so many weeks ahead of time. So I do touch them up onto my own sometimes. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but Amber, do you post on, or do you schedule stuff on your like page like way ahead of time, or do you do it day by day kind of?
No, I usually post it, well, my challenge group posts, if it's those ones, I will schedule it a little bit ahead of time. But I'm usually always just crossing over on my regular Facebook page as well. So yeah, so I guess I do a little bit.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. So I want to thank you so much for doing this call and joining us and sharing all your tips. It was awesome, and it was just so greatly appreciated. So we're just super excited to have this, and we're super excited to have this as like a solid resource on our team. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to post into the files of growing emeralds and digging for diamonds as a resource, so people can easily find it. And yeah, it was just really good, and I'm so glad you were able to do this for us.
Oh, thanks for asking, Kelsey. It was awesome.
Yeah, good. All right, thanks for joining us, ladies. And if you have any questions, post into your team page or below underneath where this video was shared, whether it's in your team page, Believe Empire, wherever, or if you have questions about it, you can post in the file section once I have it up in Growing Emeralds or Digging for Diamonds. All right, see you guys. Bye.